And they're off and racing over the 1,200 metres. Al Dajour was a little bit slowly away, cumbersome from the gate. Another one who was really slow was Candini. Making their way through the early stages, the 7, Mohammadi, has gone forward. So too has Dale Tawake into a more prominent position than before. Right up the inside is Johar Bladi, showing good pace. And also there is Saud Al Khail. So it's that leading trio that takes them through the first 250 metres or so. Johar Bladi just about the leader. The Saud Al Khail racing in second, Mohammadi in third. Rest of them sitting off this pace. They're headed by Salam Allah, followed then up the inside by Dahil Al Tawake, then towards the outside Ala Al Badi, who's trying to get a little bit closer. They're inside the final 600 now. It is Johar Bladi in the hands of Adel Al Faredi, out in front by a couple of lengths to Saud Al Khail, who's just being driven along. Then round the outside, Mohammadi in third. They're still miles clear of the rest as they start to make the swing for home with 400 left to go. Moela is the one that's coming from the back to try and stay on. Then Salam Allah and the rest are strung out all over Taif. So it's Johar Bladi that leads as they go inside the final 300. 4 or 5 lengths to the good over Mohammadi in second. Still making headway is Moela and getting up a nice head of steam as well. Johar Bladi's a little bit tired, hanging across the track, and still staying on is Moela as they go towards the closing stages, gaining with every stride up towards the line. Moela gets there. And they're off and racing. Pretty good start from Tabarak Al Khalek, and that's this horse's stock in trade. Purple colours goes forward. Also there is Came to Be. Wiggy wants to force that one forward. Kawagar is also prominent, as indeed is Asal in the green and white colours. Another one that's pretty prominent is Scott's Moon. That one likes to go forward too. So there's quite a bun fight here for the early lead. Another one that's up with the pace is Unagi, and then right round the outside is Kawagar as well. Just off the back of that now is Came to Be, who's just a little bit outpaced, and then up the inside we have Bebe. The rest all struggling as they make their way around the turns and head towards levelling up for home inside the final 600. It's Tabarak Al Khalek with all that early pace who's out in front. Al Muassis is now in second. Al Rahi is sneaking up the rail there in the red colours. Right round the outside is Scott's Moon, who's just beginning to tire a little bit. Kawagar is getting into this as well, but as they swing for home, 350 metres left to go, it's Tabarak Al Khalek who's well clear to Al Rahi, who's trying to pursue in second. Bebe has moved into third, trying to stay on from the back as well is Adar, but as they race inside the closing stages, Tabarak Al Khalek is well clear. Tabarak Al Khalek by 8 or 9 lengths, racing up towards the line. Plenty of early speed and didn't finish off the race too badly either. Tabarak Al Khalek has scored. They're off and racing. Very slowly away was Jasmine, but that's often her party piece as they make their way through the early stages. It's Alea Alelm in the orange and black colours who's prominent in the early stages, so too Morjazale in the green. Right up the inside is Rustam Basha, who's racing in third. Round the outer is Sam Nath, who's trying to get into a prominent posse. Also round the outside is Anal in the purple and white colours there, then followed by December. Orange jacket of Akko Sarah is towards the rear of the field. Yossele is last but one, and Jasmine isn't in camera shot, but that's not unlike Jasmine as they make their way towards the turn out of the back straight. And it's Alea Alel who's going pretty well, leads at the moment, and Morjazale who's racing in second. Rustam Basha's up the inside. Sam Nath is now just beginning to get driven along. Right round the outside is Anal, who's making gritty eye-catching headway. 400 to go. They're levelling off for home very shortly. Alea Alelm is the leader, and Morjazale, the green jacket, trying to stay on. Rustam Basha is over there on the far side. The sheepskin noseband, another sheepskin noseband of Anal is getting into it as well. Plenty of chances here as they go towards the final furlong. Alea Alelm just about the leader, but here down the centre of the track comes Anal December with all that stamina, and also Yossele getting into it late too inside the final 100. Anal now being reeled in by Yossele. Yossele begins to get up and wins. racing, a pretty level break. Abu Hadid was a little bit slowly away. Tornadic was also quite slowly out the gate. Infrared has gone forward in the pink and blue colours and is your early leader. Another one that's up with the pace is Karaginski, the black and white colours. Emblem Game in the yellow and black is also up with the pace as they make their way through the first furlong or so. Also just off the back of the speed is Alukal in the yellow cap. Pennywyn Tavern of the black and white colours and the yellow cap is also prominent. Al Washmi rather wide on the track in about 5th or 6th position at the moment. They're then followed round the outside by the red colours of Dance Fever, who's getting into a prominent position. Wadahi right round the outside as well is also up with the pace, and they're then followed by Abu Hadid. So they start to make the turn for home here, and it's Infrared and Camillo Ospina who's grabbed the rail and the leads by about a length or so. To in second position Karaginski, who's just being nudged along. Then right round the outside is Al Washmi. Consensus de Vega is getting into this now. We've got fallers towards the rear of the field there. Pennywyn Taverner was very badly interfered with, swinging for home. 400 metres left to go, and it's Infrared out in front. The Karaginski in second. Al Washmi down the centre of the track, followed by Alukal and Consensus de Vega. The rest with a mountain to climb. Infrared's the leader as they go towards the final 200 metres. To Al Washmi in second. Karaginski's trying to battle on. Alukal now just drifting towards the centre of the track, but it's Infrared. Camillo Ospina prominent throughout, and has had the rail for a long time too. Has saved all the ground and races up towards the line as the winner. And they're off and racing. A little bit slowly away, Fakir Dupoy, but all in all, it's a pretty level break as they make their way through the early stages. Mutawakel Al-Kaladir is prominent. The other main fancy in this race, Hamdani Khalid Al-Kaladir, is just kept wide at the moment. This is a fairly regular thing, though, in Arabian races. One that's coming forward is Al Hareth as well in the white and green colours, and the pink jacket of Lazal Al Ali is also up with the pace. They're then followed by Al Qasa in the red and white colours, and the slow starting Fakir Dupoy, who's made a couple of places. Nayar Athbar is last but one, and right at the rear of the field is I Am Athbar. So they make their way inside the final 1,000 metres, and it's the pink and white colours of Lazaz Al Ali who's gone on, but now taken on round the outside by Mutawakel Al-Kaladir. And it's Mutawakel Al-Kaladir in the hands of Eddie Castro, who's eased into the lead here, to Lazal Ali, who's racing in second. Then up the inside and driven along, Al Hareth is in third. Then round the outside, Al Qaza. Also being driven along is Hamdani Khalid Al-Kaladir round the outside, not making much of an impression at the moment. Fakir Dupoy is now trying to get going, the yellow and black colours, and the other two are tailed off. Starting to make the turn for home, and it's Mutawakel Al-Kaladir who's eased into a lead of about 3.5 lengths, to in second position Al Qaza. Now round the outside, Hamdani Khalid Al-Kaladir has been off the bridle for a while. He's just responding to the urgings in the saddle and gets a little bit closer. They've swung for home them. It's Mutawakel Al-Kaladir, but here now getting plenty of momentum down the centre of the track is Hamdani Khalid Al-Kaladir. Al-Kaladir's pairing off inside the closing stage as they go. Mutawakel Al-Kaladir, who built up a bit of a lead, is having it eroded somewhat, but has still got a lead of about 2.5 lengths as they race up towards the line, and it's Mutawakel Al-Kaladir who scores. Flags are up and they are off and racing, and somewhat slowly away was Princess Muazzaz, and who's given them a 4 or 5 length start as they make their way through the early stages of this Fillies Open Arabian contest. And it's Wathabat Al-Kaladir who is the early leader in the white and black colours, to the red of Tuhamayat Al-Kaladir towards the outside. The near side is Faritz Al-Jazi. Then the check sleeves of Niara and the check jacket of Nanawa. And then towards the rear of the field at the moment, Wathibat Al Khaladia, and then Princess Muazzaz, who was the slow starter. So they've made their way through the first 450 metres or so, and the leaders with Wathibat Al Khaladia. To Nenawa, who's racing in second. Continuing that wide trek is Tuhamayat Al Khaladia, the red and black colours. Poking up the inner now is Farid Al Jazi. Then right round the outside is Wathebat Al Khaladia. Going backwards now is Niara. And just moving into a slightly more prominent position is Princess Muazzaz. So they're turning for home, 55.26 seconds for the first 800 metres. And it's the four Wathabat Al Khaladia, who's had that rail now for a little while, to the check jacket of Nanawa, then the red colours of Tuhamayat Al Khaladia. Now staying on in fourth is Farid Al Jazi, getting a bit closer, but only ridden along to do so. And then Wathebat Al Khaladia, the grey cap, trying to get involved as well. 400 metres left to go, levelling up for home. Wathabat Al Khaladia leads by about 2 lengths to Nanawa, who's racing in second. Gap of about 4 lengths back to Tahamat Al Khaladia. Then Farid Al Jazi, who's trying to get going, but it's Wathabat Al Khaladia who leads at the moment by about 2 lengths to Nanawa in second, who's trying to punch back, but inside the closing stage it's Wathabat Al Khaladia, who really could rather do with the line. Farid Al Jazi is building up terrific momentum down the centre of the track and got there. Farid Al Jazi. They're ready, they're off and racing. Rather awkwardly out the gates was Al Marlin. I'd say rather awkwardly out the gates, very awkwardly out the gates, has lost a good 5 or 6 lengths in the early stages. One that's pushed along to try and lead in the early part of the race is Alik. So it's Alik that's just about the leader, though Al-Kir Fiwajk is also showing good early pace, and that one goes on. These two have somewhat paired off in the early speed stakes. Racing in third is Al-Qamani in the green and orange colours. Then up the inside in fourth is Rawaje. Then the grey colours of Delum, who's racing in fifth, followed then in sixth spot by Al Marlin, who started really badly and has now been rushed up to a mid-div sit. I'm not entirely sure that's a particularly smart tactical approach. Then Kahila Delmons towards the outside of Laith Al Hamai. They're then followed by Ale Al Zouk, who's in the black cap, and towards the rear of the field at the moment. Also towards the back is Waradom, as indeed is Ale Waisa, and just about the back marker is Intergene, who has been played late in the past. So they're down the far side here now, and the lead is in the hands of Al-Kir Fiwajk by about 3/4 of a length to Al-Qamani, who sits in second. Then racing in third is Alik in the yellow and green colours, followed then in fourth by Delum. Then up the inside in fourth, or fifth I should say, is Rawaje. Bit of a gap developing then to Al Marlin, who races in sixth, and then we've got Laith Al Hami, followed then by Kahila Delmon, the red cap. Now round the outside, Mosta Woab in the hands of Camilo Ospina, the red distinguishing cap there, now making eye-catching headway. So they're making the turn out of the back straight. It's Al-Kir Fiwajk who's the leader as they go inside the final 600 to Al-Qamani, who's racing in second. Rawaje is in third, followed then by Alik, who's racing in fourth spot. Very wide on the track, and now just being ridden along is Delum. Still trying to get involved here is Mosna Woab, but has got plenty to do. So swinging for home, and out in front and going pretty strongly is Al-Kir Fiwajk, who wanted the lead early. Now just firing off 1 or 2 distress signals out in front. Down the centre of the track, Rawaje is trying to stay on. They're then followed by Al-Qamani. Down the centre of the course, Delum is getting going as well, but this leader is finding a bit more out in front. Al-Kir Fiwajk looked as though he was under pressure with about 200 metres to go, but has still got enough in hand here to Mosta Woab, who's doing too much, or too little too late, and racing up towards the line. Al-Kir Fiwajk has won it tight for second. But we're off and racing. over the 2,400 metres. Kurafi was very slowly away. Good start by Kilauea, the grey and the red colours, who wants to get a prominent posse in the early part of the race. Also there is Canud, who's up with the pace. Then racing in, well, 3 wide, but in the lead is Bottle Rocket Man. They're then followed right round the outside by Sata. Juan de Montalban is just off the back of the speed, followed then by the yellow and blue of Taif. This little group have just gone on a bit from Radad, the sheepskin noseband, and then towards the outside of Radad is Bodyline. Then nearest to is Skip in the dark blue and white colours, followed by George Villiers. Then the green of Kurafi, who's quite slowly away, still in rear of mid-division, but they're well strung out here. They're going quite a clip, and they're being led by Canud, who goes on by about 4 lengths to Bottle Rocket Man racing in second. Juan de Montalban, the white and green colours, is in third. Then Kilauea in fourth, followed then by Sata, who races in fifth as they go through the or go past the winning post and onto their final circuit of the track. And it's Canud who's setting pretty strong fractions here, leading them to, in second position, Bottle Rocket Man. Juan de Montalban's getting a nice run up the inside there, followed by Kilauea. They're then followed by Sata as they go towards the final 1,200. Gap of about 5 lengths back to Tayfish, and then Bodyline getting a bit closer now. The green colours of Kurafi, who's a slow starter but is getting into this. Homesick Boy gets a first mention, gets a little bit closer as well as they make their way down the far side of the track. Also towards the back of the field at the moment, Al Marmoom Gate, but is getting noticeably closer. Al Marmoom Gate moving into around about 9th or 10th spot. So they haven't hung around here, and it's still Canud who leads to Juan de Montalban up the inside. Kilauea is now making headway right round the outer. In between the pair, we've got Bottle Rocket Man. Now trying to stay on is Tayfish. Then right up the inside, Al Marmoom Gate, who continues to weave its way through. Then right round the outer, we've got Treble Joy getting a bit closer. Monsieur Jumbo is also getting into this too. So they start to make the turn for home. Canud the leader, Kilauea in second, bearing down on the long-time leader. Then into third is Al Marmoom Gate, who's travelled well to get there but still has work to do. Then right round the outside, the yellow colours there of Treble Joy getting a little bit closer, and Monsieur Jumbo as well as they make the swing for home now. It's Canud being challenged by Kilauea, but here comes Al Marmoom Gate, who continues to build that momentum down the centre of the track, and it's Al Marmoom Gate that now goes on. He was a convincing winner last time and looks like he's going to be so again here, and racing up towards the line. Al Marmoom Gate has absolutely spaced them. Could have been named the winner a long way out. Al Marmoom Gate coasts over the line. A very easy winner. Ready, gates back and away they go. Starter caught them in a pretty good line, pushing forward though, as he often does, is Akhtar in the early stages in the yellow and red colours. Also prominent there in the red distinguishing cap is Mehama. Those two very prominent in the early part of the race. Al Mazraj is also up with the pace early, followed then towards the outside by the white cap of Mortage towards the outer. Also prominent there is Taif. There's a real speed burn up here towards the rear of the field is Saab. Also towards the back is Al Hayawi. 400 metres in 24.64 seconds, and it's Akhtar who continues to lead. Up the inside racing in second is Mehama. Then right round the outer in third, the white cap of Mortage, who's pretty prominent. Then the red cap of Al Mazraj, who's still up with the pace. They're then followed by the green colours of Al Wahif. Then after that, Taj Al Elia, who's just now being driven along. Final 500 metres, and Akhtar continues to lead here. Got 1 or 2 of them at it. Still travelling pretty well though on seasonal debut is Mortage. They're then followed by Al Mazraj, who's trying to box on. Now being driven along in fourth spot is Mehama, swinging for home. 350 metres left to go, and it's Akhtar who continues to lead by about 3 or 4 lengths. To in second position Al Mazraj. From the rear of the field, Motabane is getting into a really good rhythm. They're then followed in fourth by Walad Al Matrefar. Inside the final 200 metres they go. Akhtar the leader, looks a bit vulnerable though to Motabane, who's coming home really strongly. Akhtar, Motabane inside the closing stages now. Taj Al Elia is sticking on as well. It's Akhtar and Motabane as they go to the line. Akhtar hangs